She finished the last bite of her toast, dabbed her lips with a napkin and stood. I've got a flight in 3 hours. My ex-husband invited me on a month-long trip for his birthday. Her words slid out casually, the way someone might mention the weather or the time of day. Then she picked up her suitcase, left her coffee half drunk on the table, and disappeared through the door. That was the final morning I looked at her as my wife. It hadn't always been like that between us. Once, I loved her with a devotion that felt endless. Her laughter had been a melody I wanted to shelter. Her weary sighs something I thought were mine to soothe. We built our life together in routines. Quiet breakfasts, weekend drives, murmured promises in the dark. I believed loyalty was our foundation. I was naive. The cracks had been showing for months, maybe longer. Her phone glowing at midnight with messages she never explained. Girls' trips that produced no photos, no evidence. The way she clutched her purse like it was a vault. I told myself I was imagining things. Until his name flashed across her screen. Her ex-husband. Message after message. She called him love. She promised him weekends, trips, a future. She told him I was nothing but a provider, a placeholder she was tolerating. My heart clenched, then hardened. So that morning, when she breezily announced her little trip, I didn't argue. I studied her tone instead. Arrogant, careless, convinced I wouldn't stop her. And she was right about the man I used to be. Not the man sitting across from her that day. Revenge isn't born out of fury. Fury is sloppy. Revenge needs focus. While she folded dresses into her suitcase, I was gathering documents. Titles, deeds, bank accounts, joint savings. Anything she thought was hers, I quietly sealed off. I consulted lawyers in hushed rooms, shifted assets into trusts beyond her reach, adjusted beneficiaries. I changed locks, rerouted mail, erased her fingerprints from everything that mattered. I turned myself into a shadow moving where she couldn't see. And then when all the threads were pulled tight, I wrote a letter. Short. Final. Precise. A month later, she came back. Suitcase heavier, skin bronzed, sunglasses too large to hide the smugness in her eyes. She probably imagined she'd walk through the door, drop her bags in the hallway, and step right back into the life she had deserted, as though fidelity was just a flexible word. But she froze. Pinned to the front door was a yellow envelope, my handwriting scrawled across it. She tore it open, lips moving as she read the words. You abandoned this marriage. You lied. You betrayed me. You mocked me behind my back. Consider this your eviction. The accounts are closed. Your name is gone. You own nothing here. I owe you nothing. I stood across the street, leaning on my car, a bag of popcorn in hand. I watched her face crumble. This isn't cheating. I didn't lie to you, she cried, her voice cracking as her suitcase fell to the pavement. She clawed at the locked door, desperation spilling out of her in front of curious neighbors peeking through curtains. Panic spread across her face. How could you do this? You can't throw me out with nothing. But I already had. She collapsed onto the ground, sobbing into her hands. This isn't fair. I didn't lie. Each tear was payment, every broken sob a dividend. I popped another kernel into my mouth, savoring the salt. For the first time in years, I tasted freedom. Then she noticed me. Across the street. Calm. Watching. Her mascara streaked down her cheeks, her chest rising and falling in frantic bursts. She stumbled barefoot toward me, eyes wild. You can't just erase me like this. I gave you years. I didn't move. I didn't blink. You sold those years the moment you boarded his plane, I said. Her hand reached for mine, trembling, begging. I stepped back. Her eyes widened as the truth sank in. There would be no forgiveness, no second chances. The audience of neighbors, the locked door, the silence. It was all the courtroom she needed. And the verdict had already been delivered. I climbed into my car and drove away while she screamed my name, the sound swallowed by the wind. No regret, no hesitation. She had chosen her stage. I had chosen her curtain call. She was right about one thing though. I had been just a provider. But she forgot, providers can also be executioners. Now, when I sit with my morning coffee, I think about that yellow envelope pinned to the door. One simple sheet of paper that cost me nothing, but stripped her of everything. Justice doesn't always thunder. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it tastes like popcorn.